Yo, what is up, everyone? My name is Send, and I am a Challenger TFT player. I've been Challenger/GM nearly almost every set. And I just wanted to give a little insight into 3 mistakes that I think I've been seeing happen quite a lot in PBE. So 3 mistakes that players make pretty often. The first one for me is, this might sound funny, but going into the game with a plan. I've spoken to a lot of people that have been playing PBE, and they'll have. I mean, with PBE, it makes sense, right? Having a comp in mind because you want to test the unit. But this is their gameplay. This is how they normally play set 10. This is their plan to play set 11. They'll go into the game and they'll have one comp in mind that they want to play. It might be one that they've seen online, like Meta TFT or like one of these websites, and they've decided I'm going to play this comp. The thing with going into a game with a comp in mind is the items you might get might not be the right items for the comp you want to play. The board, the units you get offered, they might not be the units that translate easily into playing that comp. You might be given like a free 2-star Ash when really like you wanted to play Kaiser and now you're not picking up the Ashes. So I think going into a game with like a set plan is a bad idea. I think you still need to plan mid-game. Like once you're in the game and you start getting offered items and units, that makes sense. For example, if you were to go into the game and your plan was to play Bard and you got offered the Sivir, Garen, Riven, Jax opener, and you had like Rod, Armor, Sword, the best thing to do there would be slam Crown Guard on Riven and then play around your sword and then play into AD carries. Maybe you'll play into Ashe, maybe you'll play into Kai'Sa, maybe you'll play into Kayn. It wouldn't be a good idea to like play around your Rod and say, okay, I have a Rod, that's half of my Rage Blade for Bard. I want to play Bard reroll because that's the plan. So I'm just gonna not slam any items and then wait for my Bard reroll. You have a strong board. Like you will save a lot more HP and you will build a much better economy by slamming items and playing around that sword and playing towards your AD options. Even if like you decide to play Bard later and you have a Crown Guard slammed, it's not the end of the world. If the game offers you like Bard 2 and you could have had Rage Blade, it's unlucky. Like it is what it is, and you can still play Bard and maybe you can build a Rage Blade like elsewhere, but you shouldn't ever like think I'm not going to slam this because that's the comp I want to play when the game's offered you like sort of an AD opener, because this translates, for example, into Kai'Sa very easily. Building Ink Shadow around Jax Kai'Sa, you can put like a Volley Baron or something. You have Trick Shot with Kai'Sa Sivir, or you could play around Ashe and like keep the front line and just replace the back line, or just add snipers in and keep the Kayle for Shred or something. So yeah, I would say one mistake I see quite a lot is people going into a game and they decide I'm gonna play this comp, and I wouldn't do that. I would also say that your mid game board will normally dictate the comp you're looking to play later. It's not very easy in set 11 to pivot your whole board anymore. We're not playing set 10 where you instantly get a free 2-star full cost. Like for example, the headline is like you just instantly get a Twisted Fate 2, so you just pivot like into the disco board because like you've been holding Gragas or whatever. Like you can hold units and do the same pivot, but it's not as easy anymore. So I would say like if this is my mid game board, I'm probably playing AD. I'm probably playing Ashe or Kai'Sa as my like mid game item holders. Maybe I'm committing to those comps, or maybe I'm playing it to Fast 9. I'm not sure. But to pivot your whole board and sell units, this is something I see often. Like people will sell their whole board and then do the 4-2 roll down, and it's like, well, to be honest, that Riven 2-star with the Crown Guard was probably more tanky than your Sylas one that you've now bought. And it's like, you probably should just keep the comp you're doing while you're doing your pivot, and then slowly transition into a final comp. Number 2 that I see is holding infinite units on your bench and buying infinite units on your roll down. Let's use the same scenario. You have Crown Guard, you have sword items, you have like GS, IE, Deathblade. Say you have GS, IE, Deathblade. And then you start buying, like, for example, AP carries. You start buying Annie, who is an invoker. Or I guess Annie's a bad example. An AP backline carry. You start buying Syndra. Why are you buying Syndra? I see so many people do this. They do their roll down at 4-2 and they'll buy all the full cost carries that they see in shop. Like, because in their head, it's like, okay, so like if I 2-star any of these, like I can play it. So I'm going to buy Syndra, I'm going to buy Morgana, I'm going to buy, and then they hit 2-star Syndra, but you have full AD items. You've just ruined your econ and you're confusing yourself. You're getting lost while you're doing your roll down. You see a lot of high elo players buying lots of units when they do their roll down, especially set 10. You would see like during the AD flex roll downs, people buy these units. They would buy Caitlyn, Amumu, etc. But they did that because the units were relevant to their items and relevant to the comp that they were looking to play. You wouldn't see someone level 9 with full AP items buying Caitlyn's. You would see them playing around units like Twisted Fate /Ziggs /Ari. Like playing around the Disco comp or playing around Ziggs Ari, like Ari Fighter, something like that. They wouldn't be buying every random unit. And that's what I think a lot of like even up to GM master players do. They see that the top players like always rolling down and buying all these units and having the full bench. But it's because every unit is relevant. It's not because like you should just buy all units because any 2-star is good. You might grief yourself by 2-starring a unit, and you might waste econ and lose HP because of it. That thing I see is, especially this is I see this a lot on PBE, randomly leveling at the wrong intervals or leveling every game at the same interval no matter their gold. First, I'll explain what an interval is. I'm sure a lot of you know, but for example, if I'm 2 out of 10 XP and then I spend 8 gold to level, I'm now 0 XP. But if I'm 4 out of 10 XP and I spend 8 gold to level, I'm now like 2 XP over what I should be. So if I had just waited 1 turn and then spent XP to level, I would have been 6 out of 10 XP and it would have only cost me 4 gold because I only needed 4 XP to level. Like this is a waste of gold, and a lot of the time you're leveling in an interval where it's not efficient for you and it is affecting your economy in a negative way because you could have made 1 more turn of interest, which is like 5 interest, for example. And you would have had what, like 10 extra, 12 extra gold for your roll down. So like one thing is you should always try to level at intervals. Obviously it's not always, like none of these tips and nothing in TFT is like something you should do in every scenario. And that brings me on to the next point. Leveling every game at the same interval no matter their gold. There are leveling intervals and a lot of people will follow the leveling intervals. For example, 4-2, level 8 roll down. Everyone knows this. Everyone's been watching TFT or who's been playing TFT. They know, okay, level 8, I go level 8 at 4-2 and I roll my board down. But you can also 4-5 it. You don't have to level here. 3-2, you don't have to go level 6. If you're healthy, if your board is in like a state where it doesn't get that much stronger and you have 30 gold, say you have 30 gold at 3-2, your board's in a decently strong state and you're level 6 adding a unit, it doesn't make your board that much stronger. Why would you then go down to 18 gold to add that unit? And I see players do this all the time. I see them do this. And it's like, you've just like ruined your economy to add a 1-cost 1-star, which doesn't really add any traits to your team. And you've like still lost. It's not worth it. I wouldn't always follow these leveling intervals and really use your brain when you're leveling. Like think about it before you click the XP button. If you have 4 pairs of 1-costs and it's 2-1, you just finished the minion rounds and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna level 4 because it doesn't affect my econ. Don't do it. Like you're probably not winning anyway because you haven't got any 2-star 1-costs and you have better odds at level 3 of hitting your 2-star 1-costs. Just think every time you're gonna level whether it's worth it or not. And this is something I see. People 4-2ing it when they have 10 gold to roll. Yeah, just wait for 4-5, especially in set 11. It's so applicable to set 11. Like at 4-2, the guy who has 15 gold to roll at level 8, he might actually hit his headliner. Like, you know, like he might actually get lucky and he gets away with it and he doesn't learn his lesson. But you won't get that in set 11. I promise you, you're not hitting 3 Ashes, 3 Kaises with 15 gold at level 8. It's I mean, you maybe you will, but it's probably not happening. You know, it's really unlikely to happen and you're not going to stabilize. So just wait till 4-5 and roll a bit more extra gold. So yeah, that's the three main tips I have for set 11. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, let me know. I'm happy to make more guides and maybe even dabble into the coaching videos. But thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to like, comment, subscribe. You guys are the goods if you made it this far. Thank you.